It appears that we are live. It appears that we are live. We've got good audio. Double check. That looks good. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Why didn't you pick up my mic like I told you to? Always something. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. I want to take a moment and thank you for your time today. The one overthinking habit that you must remove is our topic for today. This is coming to you from our series, Master Your Mindset Mondays. This specific period of time is really dedicated to helping you focus exclusively on the things that you need to do to start your week out from a position of being empowered. We want you to be able to make the most of your Monday, to set the tempo and the tone so that you can move forward through the rest of your week with the momentum that you need so that you have a clarity of mind, clarity of heart to go forth and do those things that you need to do. This particular topic has a tremendous amount of support in so much as there are more than 40 million people on a day-to-day basis who are entering the workforce in various aspects of life, dealing with this idea of overthinking. It's important that you understand the statistic for two reasons. One, so you don't feel like you're doing this thing all by yourselves. And secondarily, so that you understand that it is important for us to have an interrupt, something that comes into our lives, into our hearts, minds, environments that creates a set of circumstances to stop for just a moment this particular cycle or pattern long enough where you can then say to yourself, hey, what's really going on here? So we're endeavoring today to really unpack this for you in such a way that is very simple and actionable. First off is this is a specific habit that is associated with how we think. A couple different ways we define this. Some say meditating, some say ruminating. Typically, meditating is on the positive spectrum, ruminating is on the negative spectrum. So hence, ruminating is probably going to be far more used in this particular topic than any other topic. This is a habit that we find ourselves in. It's something that we have learned over time. It's a repetitive sort of situation where we've been doing this for so long and we've been in this specific mode for such a duration that it just feels sort of natural to us. It doesn't even literally catch our attention. And it's through the repetition and ruminating, meaning thinking about the wrong thing repetitively, that we find ourselves in this state where we're constantly overthinking. We're constantly on edge about what could go wrong. There's a block, if you will, of ideas that go together here. Should have, would have, could have. All of these things start to resonate out of our minds and hearts. And the problem that we have, all of us, with overthinking is that it's not only hijacking an awful lot of our mental capital and emotional capital for the day, but the reason we're saying it needs to stop now is because it's halting or stopping our forward progression. And anytime we have anything that is halting our forward progression, we have to take action. There's a period of time that I went through personally when I was coming up in the ranks in corporate. And, there were a lot of people who entered the manager rank at the same time as I did. And what I found uh, after being stuck in that managerial position for about 8 years, and everyone else had moved up to senior director, VP, staff VP, and the like, I found that I was overthinking. It came to me when I got my first coach, and he pointed out to me that you're always so concerned about all of these hypothetical situations, Michael. And the reason why your peers have passed you by is they're not thinking about that stuff. So it is our goal to help you understand what's going on and stop you from thinking about those hypotheticals so that you can stop this pattern and get about being or doing the things that are most important to you without having this particular impediment holding you back. It should also be noted too that when we are ruminating about the wrong thing and we're in this sort of negative state or pattern, what's really happening also is that we are ushering in anxiety and stress into our lives. And if you're like me, you don't need any additional stressors, you don't need any additional anxiety. There's enough already with the other stuff. So there's no need for us to manufacture any additional. And so when we get to a point where we can really understand we're in this state and why, and we have that interrupt to stop us long enough, then we can begin to take a look at the habitual pattern. And let me say it like this, or let me set it up like this. This particular cycle is something that you've been doing again for a very long time. It is through repetition that you have refined this. It's become such a part of you that you don't even notice it. Well, when you continue to do this, we already understand that there's going to be some outcomes that don't specifically favor you. How do we stop that? How do we inject the interrupt in there so we can stop the rumination process? The best way to do this is for you to become acutely aware of what it is you're thinking about. And for you to become acutely aware of what you're thinking about, that means that you have to heighten your level of awareness. Awareness is this: it's your ability without any external assistance to notice that there's been a state change in your body. Something has just been said, something has just been done, or in many cases, I've just now thought about some things or ruminated about some things long enough to change me from the happy state that I was in to now a concerned state or an anxious state. I am now in the process of beginning to overthink. So, in all of the work that we do, we focus exclusively on awareness because you have to, if you are to break the cycle and maintain freedom from it for a period of time long enough for you to make different behavioral changes, you have got to be aware of what you're thinking about. And so, one of the best things that you can begin to do to really gain an appreciation for it is a morning routine. And in your morning routine, we're asking for 10 minutes of solitude where you get somewhere quiet in your home, where you're able to sort of close your eyes, block out all additional insights, inputs, and the like, and just think about what it is that you need to do today. What are those tasks that are important so that when you get to the end of the day, you feel like I did exactly those things that I needed to do. My plan is progressing forward. I hit some key milestones today, and by doing so, I'm now positioned to continue moving forward with the rest of the plan. When you get real intentional about your day, you get laser focused on what it is that you are to do today, not only are you breaking the cycle, you're also injecting the interrupt. And by injecting the interrupt at the beginning of the day, now when you start to move forward in your day and something goes wrong or something enters into the equation that wasn't invited or wasn't a part of the original plan or visualization you have for the morning, now your level of awareness is up, it's higher because you become very intentional about what it was you wanted to do that day. So now with this interrupt, you're able to say, I've seen this before. I know how I generally respond to this. I know I can continue to think about this and I'll be in the rumination zone, thinking about the wrong things, and then I'll find myself in a low level vibration. I'm not doing that today. What I'm going to do is focus my attention on why it is that I'm overthinking. What were those circumstances that created this? I'm going to name them if I can. And then I'm going to create a plan to circumvent them so that they go away so I can get back on track. This by far is, and this is according to science, the most practical way that you can beat overthinking every single day. And it's through very small techniques like this that you're able to secure wins on a day-to-day basis. And it's why we always say that, hey, we are equipping, we are being equipped to deal with life and all of its circumstances in a way that empowers us rather than disempowers us. And for you to be able to overcome overthinking, assuming that it's something that applies to you, or you're like me, one of those 40 million people in the US that are dealing with this on a day-to-day basis, when you can get this behind you, then your pathway forward is free and clear, and you can go about doing the things that you really desire to do without this impediment. We should also share at this particular time that there is a tremendous amount of growth that is taking place inside of you when you adopt this very practical methodology for addressing the overthinking. Oftentimes we will look at the end state and we will go, man, it's going to be fantastic when we get down yonder. And we have sort of summed this up and we've done all the things that are necessary for us to be able to secure that goal, that task, that milestone, that dream, that objective, whatever the case is. And too often we're looking exclusively at that end state, when in fact there are some really super duper cool things taking place along the journey. And so I want to admonish you today that as you begin to implement this and you begin to see yourself breaking free from overthinking, also stay in the moment day by day so that you're able to see how you are changing, so that you're able to appreciate the work that you're doing on the inside to make you, or to take you from where you are to where you want to go. It's a beautiful set. It's a beautiful set of circumstances when you're able to see your progression. Not only is it beautiful to behold, but when you take on a task like this of undoing something that has held you back for a considerable amount of time, it just makes you feel good on the inside, right? And it creates a sort of momentum for you to be able to move forward with a greater degree of confidence and clarity. Confidence and clarity are milestones we know from over 60 years of observation that are associated with high achievers, those that succeed, those that are prosperous. So you need those two in your so-called environment for you to be able to thrive. You should also note that for you, your loved one, anyone you know who is dealing with overthinking, that this has to be a non-negotiable, right? We have to do what is necessary, and we need to encourage those that are close to us and that we're in relationship with to do likewise, because this is one of those impediments that is paralyzing. It's one of those impediments that really stifles. We talked about personal growth, certainly that, but they're dreams. There's things that we were brought here specifically to do. And if we're always overthinking, that means we're procrastinating. If we're always overthinking, that means that we're not able to execute. And the execution piece is the most important part of us having a level of fulfillment for our lives, not just the dreams, goals, and aspirations, but for our lives. And to watch others that we are doing life with and enjoy and like being around suffer the exact same fate, it's difficult. It's incredibly difficult. And as I look back and reflect on my own observations here, I can attest to it. It's hard. It's a habit. It's not permanent. And what we've done today is we've shared with you a very practical framework that you can utilize to get real intentional every single day about what it is that you need to accomplish. And one of the things that we didn't share that I think is noteworthy as well is when, in fact, there is, what would you call it? Something comes up that, let's say, was not anticipated. Something comes up that you didn't expect, catches you off guard. When you get good at this, what's going to happen is you're going to do what we shared earlier, but on autopilot. So in the same way that sometimes we're overthinking, and we're just doing that without any of our own thought, you're going to be doing the right thing without giving it a whole lot of thought. Case in point, I've got real intentional today about doing 2 specific tasks. I get to the midday point, get an email, get a phone call, something's not going quite right. Now, all of a sudden, I've got to pivot and switch gears to go and deal with this set of circumstances rather than the things that I said I needed to do this day. Well, generally speaking, we would get flustered, we would get upset, we would get all bent out of shape. When you get good at this, you anticipate things like this happening because this is called life, and there's no one with a playbook for every single day about this thing we call life. So we just sort of move from a position of flow when we get good at this. And we don't waste our energy and we don't waste our emotional capital being uptight about these situations because we already anticipated them. We know from time to time these things are going to take place. And as a result, we have a set of tools that we already have available to deal with this. We're not going to get upset. We're not going to get irritated, bent out of shape. We're not going to waste that emotional capital. What we're going to do instead is identify what happened, see what we can do to create a quick plan to circumvent it, to disable it, to get over it, through it, or around it, call that done, and then get back on track with what it is we wanted to do. And what you find is that breaking this habit and enjoying this level of growth sets you up beautifully for a life that is predicated on flow. Now, that's one of the things that we intend to talk about in the future. But when you can hit flow state and you can have clarity and confidence, there won't be anything that will be able to stand in the way of you doing whatever it is that you have purposed in your heart and in your mind as an objective. So, in summary, let's just talk through this real quick to make sure you've got a good plan going forward. When you find yourself, you're going to, number one, start with your morning routine, just 10 minutes. You're going to get into a quiet place. You're going to visualize what your day is going to look like. You're going to see yourself moving through the day with a great degree of clarity, knowing precisely what it is that you need to accomplish during that day. When you catch yourself, should it happen, when you catch yourself attempting to ruminate, because of your level of awareness, because of your heightened level of consciousness, because you've gotten intentional about what it is you're going to do this day, you are going to take a couple deep breaths, right? You're going to ask yourself, what just happened? I was feeling good. I was doing well. I'm not feeling so hot right now. What is it that's going on the inside of me? Am I ruminating, and why? And then if you can name it, name it. And then immediately thereafter, we're not spending any additional time or emotional capital continuing to ruminate. We're like, what are the steps that we need to take to make this go away, to ease the set of circumstances until we can deal with the greater part later? What is it that we can do in this moment to nullify this so we can get back on track, to do those things that we decided in our morning routine that were important? Notice the use of time has changed. The use of our emotional and mental capital has changed. The manner in which we address problems has become much more defined and has order to it. And the overall pattern that we found ourselves in has been broken because we've injected an interrupt into the pattern. The goal is to help you understand. The goal was to help you understand and then to give you a practical set of tools that you could deploy when you find yourself in this state, and that you could also share with others. I hope that this was helpful for you. We most certainly enjoyed bringing this to you. To the extent that you have others who may deal with this particular impediment, feel free to share this video with them. And we most certainly, again, appreciate your time. We want to ask that you help us spread the word that each Monday we will be dealing with some topic regarding overthinking. It is very near and dear to our hearts to help as many people as we can overcome this specific impediment. So until next time, take care and keep moving forward.